it's the Mash from Neveh here in Telstone in Eretz Israel. And I want to share with you a sikha, a discussion, which I often give just before Purim. And even though I'm in Eretz Israel, it applies to all of our people, wherever we may be. So let's hear something which I think can give a total different perspective of what Purim is. Let's assume, in fact, let's pretend that you are members of the Persian Jewish Congress on 2 occasions, and you are confronted with a very difficult decision. And this decision is going to affect our entire nation. So you be the judge. Let's first start in the 3rd year of the reign of King Ahasuerus, when he throws that magnificent party and invites all the people of Shushan to attend, among them, of course, the Jews. And yet, the leader, Mordechai, advises the Jews not to participate. His reason seems somewhat obscure. Shelo litain pischon per lesatan. Not to give an opening for the adversary, for the Satan. It's hard to understand what Mordechai is telling us. And the Persian Jewish Congress decided they have to investigate the matter much more deeply. So they invite the social director of the court to appear before them. And he comes, and he tells them, he says, "My fellow citizens, I want to impress upon you the significance of attending such a mesiba, such a party. Do you realize the party is going to extend 180 days? That's a long time to party. Even for Americans, it's a long time to party. And the last day has to be as lavish as the first. Do you realize the wine given to each individual attending is going to be older than him? An 80-year-old man coming to Ahasuerus' mesiba is going to get wine 81 years old. They're going to be presented golden goblets, not two the same, and no goblet, no cup will be reused. And some say that the person can keep his own as a momentum. Wow. And what is the king going to wear? The king is wearing nothing less than the 8 garments of the Kohen Gadol. He is showing 3 treasures that were taken up from the Euphrates of the Beis HaMikdash. He's showing, 6 treasures every night for 180 evenings. That's going to be 1,080 treasures. That's what he uncovered. It's such a lavish party, such an important presentation, and you're not going to attend? The king will be furious. That was the social director of the court of Ahasuerus, advising the Persian Jewish Congress that they should attend the feast. What about the political advisor? Oh, the political advisor. He gives some background. And, of course, taken from the Manga. The background he gives is the following. Do you know what's behind this party? It's not for naught. Ahasuerus has plans. He wants to establish himself as an absolute monarchy. What's the difference, you ask, between a constitutional monarchy and an absolute monarchy? Let me explain. We know that Ahasuerus did not have royal blood. He usurped the throne first out of wealth and then out of power. His claim to royal lineage only came when he married Vashti, a descendant of Nebuchadnezzar. Now, an absolute monarchy, the people are his servants. In a constitutional monarchy, he is the guardian of the state. In an absolute monarchy, Fort Knox, the treasurer, the treasury belongs to him. Do whatever you want. Be lavish. In a constitutional monarchy, it belongs to the people. He's the guardian of it, but he has to listen to advisors. There's some control. In an absolute monarchy, religion is whatever he wants to be or not to be. In a constitutional monarchy, he has to accept the religion of the state. In a constitutional monarchy, the king cannot change the capital of the state. The capital remains. But in absolute monarchy, he can decide to change the capital. Now, you probably already understand what I'm trying to explain. The political advisor explains the following. The king Ahasuerus wants to present himself as an absolute monarchy. So what is he doing? He's making an absolute lavish feast which shows he has total control of the treasury. He's inviting first his own servants, his own people to come. And at the very end of the list, right, that is his own soldiers, his own forces. At the very end of the list, he also invites the Tsar of Medina, the heads of the states which he was able to usurp, showing that they no longer have power. He decides what he wants to do. In terms of the capital, it was once Bavel, now it's going to be Shushan. He's making the party in Shushan, establishing that as the Bira, the capital of the state. And in terms of religion, well, let's discuss a moment what he's going to do with Vashti, right? He orders Vashti to come before him. Not the queen Vashti, but Vashti, who happens to be the queen. He orders her to come before him, not because she has royalty, but just to show the people her beauty. As if he married her for her beauty, not for her royal lineage, right? And he's making a mockery of the religion of the state, that she should appear before everyone only with her Keser Malchus. By the way, he tells everybody, right? He tells her she should come holding on to the crown and only to put the Keser on when she is in front of him. That's how the Malbim learns. Right? What is he showing? That she's only the queen because of him. And she's totally subservient to him. And he married her only for her beauty, not for her royal lineage. In other words, he is totally independent of her claim to the throne, and therefore he is now the absolute monarch. So the political advisor concluded it would be nonsense, it would be inviting persecution not to attend this festival, not to attend this party. And we have just to take a few words from the psychiatrist of King Ahasuerus, right? He said very simply, I want to tell you something. King Ahasuerus has a problem of temper. You see, when the queen refused to listen to his command, right? He lost his head. Well, she lost her head because he lost his head. But he has a temper. You better not tempt him to take revenge on the Jewish people. Right?
So we have the social director, we have the political analyst, and we have the court psychiatrist. All say to the Persian Jewish Congress, you better attend this festival. And that's what happened. They listened, and they went. And you know what happened afterwards? What happened right after the feast? Nothing. 9 years passed without an event, without any kind of problems. They went, they were Nana from the Suda. 9 years passed. And you know what happens now? Now, Haman has become a very powerful figure, and he orders everyone to bow before him. And according to the Gemara Sanhedrin, according to Rava, it wasn't real Avodah Zorah, right? But Mordechai refuses, coming from Binyamin, he refuses to be mishtachave. And you know what the people thought then? The people were scared. Mordechai, they say, Atama pilenu lecherev shalosa Russia. You're shoving us into the sword of this evil person by refusing to bow down to him. And Mordechai is stubborn. Mordechai refuses to bow down. So now imagine once again you're part of the Persian Jewish Congress. You're deciding what to do. What should you do? Should you make a demonstration in front of the palace and say, Mordechai is not ours. We accept the king and his reign. We accept his leaders. We accept Haman. Make a demonstration, show that we are no longer under the leadership of Mordechai. Or should we do what Mordechai tells us to do? To fast for 3 days and nights and do tshuva, because 9 years ago we were Nana from the Suda of Achashverosh. What would you do? What would you do? What would have happened if the Jews would have been resisting the leadership of Mordechai and not listened to him and made such a demonstration? I don't know what would have happened, but one thing I know for sure, one thing is for certain, there would not have been a Purim. The Yeshua, the Nisan of Purim, the Geula of Purim, was only because they had Emunas Chachamim. They had Emunas Chachamim, and they accepted the word, accepted what Mordechai told them. And that caused the Yeshua. Right? And what I've told you is taken from Rav Dessler, the first Chelek of Michtav Me'Eliyahu, in a letter to somebody who questioned the leadership of the Gedolim in the time of the Holocaust. And he said, just like they say, we see b'chush, we see that they made a mistake, chas v'sholom. He said, had you been in the time, he took it from the Elder from Kelm, had you been in the time of Mordechai and Esther, you could have said, we see b'chush, it's the extremism, it's the fanaticism of Mordechai that's causing us this trouble. And that would have caused nothing besides the Hashmi l'habeit kol Yehudim, our destruction. It was only because of Emunas Chachamim that we were able to see the Nisan of Purim. May we together be mischazik ourselves and our Emunas Chachamim, so that we can see once again the Nisan of Purim that we so badly need in our world today, and we could see the binyan of Bayis Shlishi, Miriam Mena. I just want to share with you that I probably could not have said this discussion at the beginning of the year, because we have very special, very wonderful boys, mostly from America, but many of them come with being skeptical of the system. Many of them have been turned off and lack inspiration. They all different types of problems which makes a discussion of Emunas Chachamim, as vital as it is, somewhat difficult. But I was able to say it today because these fellows have grown, they've matured, they can become so much closer to their source. And I always like to say something that my first Rebbe, Rav Noach Weinberg said, he said, what can we do? What can we give to Hashem? Hashem is everything, He's infinite. What can we give to Hashem? He said, we can bring Hashem's children home. And so you have a taste of what we do here in Neveh Tzion and Telstone Israel to bring Hashem's children home.